Hey there, Danny here. Welcome to my ramblings. It's a nice night that I got the main door open and all the windows open and the roof vents open. And it's a glorious night that I can have no AC. It's been like this past couple of nights. I've been able to turn the AC off once it gets late enough, and we get to sleep with the windows open, and it's amazing after the summer that we've just had. Anyways, I wanted to come on here, and I wanted to talk to you. Excuse my mess. I'm in the middle of reorganizing a bunch of stuff. I wanted to come on here and talk to you about reaction. And as you progress your journey to learning to love yourself and become your true authentic self, you tend to react differently. So if you interact with people that you normally did before and they knew how to push your buttons, anybody that's close to you knows how to push your buttons. It's kind of just something that everybody does. I don't know why, but hurt people. But once you start to learn to love yourself and find your true authentic self, you don't react anymore. So when somebody tries to push your button, initially you are a little firm with setting your boundary about it, but you're not aggressive about it. You're not defensive. You're not reactive. At that point, you blatantly tell that person, I can see exactly what you're doing. You did this to me several times before. This is how it goes. This is why you got away with doing it. I have healed that, and I won't tolerate being spoken to that way again. And when that happens, the other person tends to, I don't know if they calm down, but they tend to not argue anymore or push that button anymore. They're kind of shocked at that point. Now, as you deal with different people and you're learning to set your boundaries and you have firm boundaries, you start to realize that the people around you that could trigger you don't trigger you anymore. You will be able to pick up when they are triggering you, instantly. And in the beginning, I had to be quiet. I couldn't even set the firm boundary in the beginning. I just got silent and let them just rattle on. And then when they were finished, I would say, okay, now do you want to hear why I responded that way to you in the past, or why whatever the situation was? Then I would try to explain to them so they could understand where I was coming from. And then next thing I know, all of a sudden, after I've explained it to different people at different times, the same thing repeatedly said to one person, but it can happen with multiple people. But so with one particular person, I would say it a few times, how I felt. I would sometimes recite back to how I thought they felt and ask them if I was right or I wasn't, and if I wasn't, could you clarify? And they would clarify. And then after that would open lines of communication up. And after we get to an understanding and there wasn't bickering and fighting, there would be certain times where different people would again try to push my button, and at that point was when I would be firm, and I would 100% outline exactly what I will and will not tolerate and why I will and will not tolerate it. And at that point they would usually get silent Or a few of them had to let me go. Other ones immediately at that point apologized. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And at that point, I would tell them that's okay. I understand. Thank you for the apology. But you've really got to work on it harder. And I'd let it go. And then it wouldn't happen. And then if it would happen again later on, I would be like, look, I told you before, this is how it is. And I'm not going to tolerate it. So this is the end. I'm not going to talk to you again as long as you're going to talk to me like this. And you might have to cut them out for a little while. But at some point, the good, decent ones, the hurt ones that hurt people, at that point will start to look at themselves, and then they'll reach out. And then the communication is completely different. And the one thing that I've learned from all of this is my reaction to how they try to push my buttons now that I have set firm boundaries and they know those boundaries. My reaction isn't really there. I again get silent, or I reiterate my boundary, and it's appearing that they're starting to grow because they start to recognize it sooner. Sometimes I've had a few that recognize it right as they're beginning to start pushing that button with you, and they'll catch themselves and they'll be like, oh my God, I am so sorry. And I don't tell them, I don't chastise them or anything else. I just say, that's okay, no worries. I can see that you're trying to work on it. I mean, you've caught it this time way sooner than you ever have before, so that's progress. Any movement forward is still movement forward, is what I tell them. And you can see that your interactions with people from your past, and I'm not talking about narcissistic people or abusers or anything like that. Anybody that's in that state, none of what I'm telling you applies to them. What I'm telling you, though, is that those people and you tend to start growing a really different form of communication, and you start to they start to express their thoughts, and you start to realize that the things they thought about you, and you're kind of shocked, like, oh my God, how could you think about me like that? And then you realize that they're being honest with you how they thought. So you have to thank them for being honest. And I don't go into, oh my God, how could you think about me like that? But I there have been a few that I will say that to, but those are people that I'm really close with. Ones that I'm just friends with or whatever. I don't go into in-depth with it. But I usually... No, I lost my train of thought. This getting old thing sucks. Now I forgot what I was going to say. Alright, we're leaving it at that at this point. Evidently, not supposed to keep talking. My mother used to say to me if I forgot something, she used to say, it must have been a lie. She used to say it all the time. If you can't remember it, it must have been a lie. I don't know where she got that from or why she thought that, but it became a joke as I got older. Because it's not, but it was just something funny that she always said. Maybe she believed it, I really don't know. But I just always thought it was funny. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with that lie. Lack of focus, concentration. Alright, I will be back. I will rewatch this, and then the next time I come back, I will elaborate a little bit more. I'm going to look at some more cars. Went and looked at a car today. But it didn't shift out of first gear, and it was an automatic. Okay, can't buy that. So a couple more tomorrow, and hopefully we'll find something soon. I'll keep you posted. Have a great night. See you guys in a day or two. Love ya.